Hello and welcome to Animate. I'm taking a little break from gardening and I am creating more junk journal pages. I have this new system, I guess, this small six-ring binder. It's about 7.5 by 4.5 inches, and I love it, love it, love it. However, what I want to show you is that I collected these boxes from cereal, pop, ice cream, whatever packaging, because they are already recycled paper and they are pretty good quality. So rather than dumping it in recycling bin, I salvage them, save them, and I will cut them into um, pages for the future junk journal pages. So it's super easy process. I just kind of want to show you what's possible, right? So I take the boxes apart, I cut away the um, edges that are folded, and I concentrate on the main um, page, basically the flat area, and then I cut it to size. So I know exactly the size of my pages for this binder, and I also do little marks on my cutter. If you can see the black marks, they are exactly what I need, the 4 inch and 6 3/4. When I look at the design of the box, I do sometimes consider what's on it because I can use it in the design of my page. And sometimes I just don't care, and because I know I will glue different paper to it, right? But I think it is nice to keep a little bit or make a little bit of the original design visible so it does send that upcycling message. I do find some pride in upcycling, so I think it's kind of cool to reuse and upcycle different materials. So in this case, I'm even using the bottom of the box that has got sort of embossed or indented little circles from the cans of pop. But anyhow, I think this is nothing new. We can upcycle any kind of material, especially paper. It's super easy. I just do wanted to show you that that is what I used in this case for my junk journal, and I found it incredibly satisfying. So you can use any kind of cardboard, any kind of material. Really, I do like cardboard because it's easy to glue other paper to it, because it's free, because it saves the material from recycling, which I don't think they really recycle. Anyhow, and I kind of find it interesting to think about the potential, like the little windows on the boxes and the handle, what can be done with it. And then I punch the 6 holes and I put it in my mini binder. I actually have a special punch holder which I can adjust the distances where I'm going to make the holes. So this one is set up now for this type of mini binder. By the way, most of the pages I can probably do 5, 6, maybe even 7. I can also do this cardboard. However, if I glue too much material to it, it may be too thick and I may kind of damage the um, puncher. So I would use one held puncher. By the way, now I'm showing you all the materials that I'm going to use for creating the pages. Those are all leftovers from different paper crafts that I did in the past, or I used the whole pages for um, junk journals, and then the leftovers I store and I reuse them eventually. So that's my little workstation. I like to use kitchen island because it's good height for me. I like standing up, and then I am just playing with different materials. As you can see, when I start, I'm always like, oh, I should make it perfect. I don't know what to do. I'm a little bit kind of like not sure, but eventually, more pages you do, more creative you become. So you can use whatever glue works for you. I was given a bunch of small glue sticks and they are great because you don't get dirty. I hate the waste of plastic itself, but the glue works great and the results are great as well. By the way, I am playing with different layouts. I'm just kind of putting it down so you kind of see the potential. I use any kind of paper, scrapbooking paper, paper from books, book pages, music sheets. I also use old cards. I also use paper napkins, tissue paper. I love working with it, it's fantastic. And then all sorts of scrapbooking papers and books and whatever. I do like sort of botanical theme, nature theme. I do prefer pastel colors myself, but sometimes nice punch of color is good. So this is the napkin, right? And you can see how well it works. It's very thin, and I think it adds nice texture, nice touch. And then I also like using Mod Podge. Mod Podge is fantastic. It is basically glue and varnish in one, and it works really well. Um, the disadvantage is that you have to use a brush, and once you apply it on the top, you actually may not be able to write on it with a pen. Permanent marker will work, but it's just one thing to consider when you work with Mod Podge, right? It is fantastic for the thin pages, for the tissue paper. It really adjusts it, um, glues it really well, and seals it on the top as well. By the way, I'm always trying to play with different layouts, and then I end up with kind of my favorites. Anyhow, it is nice to pick 3, 5, 7 colors that are somewhat matching. It is good to kind of overlay the materials. You see that paper was too thick, it just didn't work at all. So for the Mod Podge, it's actually better to use thin paper. As I mentioned, for tissue paper, so it looks fantastic. So as I mentioned, Mod Podge is amazing, but it also smells a little bit, and some people hate it. So I prefer to do it outside whenever I can. The other thing is make sure you have area that easy to wash afterwards, right? And make sure you clean your brush right away because it will harden. By the way, there are many types of Mod Podge. Some are matte, some are gloss, some are even for fabric. So just make sure that you know what you are buying and enjoy it. It's very satisfying. It dries fast, so it's great to work with. So I don't know if you have a chance to watch what I'm doing, but there's so much freedom in the design itself. That's what's beautiful about junk journaling, that there is no way of making it wrong. It's your style and you work on it and you enjoy the process, right? So I do like layering different materials. I do have, I guess, some style when I'm sort of using center and edges or a few stripes, but it's something that you have to find for yourself what work for you. I also like to add some type of embellishment to it, some kind of texture, and I also like to keep some room for additional either notes or attaching different piece of paper with notes on it, right? I always think, what is the person that I give this journal to if I am willing one day, what they can add, and if they will have enough room to add stuff to it. So as you can see, I'm actually cleaning with wet kitchen towel the area that I work on because I don't want the other side of the page to be messed up, right? Gooped up. So that's important too. Like, make sure that you have good room. Make sure you have good quality cutter, scissors. I like to have a trash bin or recycling bin next to me, and kind of good space with good light, and also that it's comfortable to stand or sit. Right. By the way, when I'm cutting off the excess material, it works better if it dries. So when I make these not for video, I like to attach everything, put it aside, let it dry, and then I cut off the edges. Especially tissue paper. When tissue paper is wet, it's harder to cut it properly, right? So um, I'm just thinking what other tips I can share with you when it comes to gluing. I really think that it's you do whatever you can, whatever you enjoy. Sometimes you can copy. certain styles. You can create your own style that's your favorite and you always get back to. I'm trying to always do something else. It's not about the final product that I want to be original. It's more about me learning new methods, new layouts, new things that can be done. Um, I think it's really fun to listen to some music or audio and totally um, shut yourself from the rest of the world and be creative. I often listen to YouTube and then I realized that it was paused because it took such a long time. So they're asking me, oh, do you still want to play it? And I realized that I go half an hour by creating something without actually listening to anything because I can be lost in my junk world. So, anyhow, this is the final product I want to show you. Maybe it will inspire you a little bit. I had really great time making them, and even now, just looking at the video, I know how thick the pages are and how much I enjoy them, or like working with them, like holding them. Um, it's interesting that I can see each of those pieces where they come from because they were truly all leftovers from different projects. Here you can see actually the original box. So I'm kind of pointing out where you can see what the original page was, right? I think it's, of course, I'm crafter and hoarder, so I have tons of different materials, and in my case, almost using the word upcycling or recycling is not the correct one, but yes, I can say that all the materials in this journal were recycled and upcycled. I'm super happy. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got inspired and enjoyed. I think this is 22 pages. So they're double-sided and it's a good size and it's nice and thick. I love it. So I hope you got inspired and you enjoy my videos. I am also on Instagram and on Facebook. You can follow me if you feel like it. Thanks for watching. Night.